Hello, what is going on, guys? Hacky Guy 1 here. Welcome to my review of Lord of the Rings and the Fellowship of the Ring. So, Lord of the Rings and the Fellowship of the Ring is directed by Peter Jackson and stars Elijah Wood, Ian McKellen, and Christopher Lee. And the story is Bilbo Baggins he gives up the ring to his nephew Frodo, and he goes on, and Frodo goes on a like some sort of quest to go up and stop Sauron. Yeah. So yeah, like that story is fantastic in every way. And it's very entertaining, and I kind of like how this trilogy. I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of like 3 movies, and they're all kind of one big movie because they all connect with each other perfectly. I kind of like how this trilogy does that, and this was the perfect start for that. The most surprising thing in this movie would probably be its pacing. I mean, it's a 3-hour movie. You'd think that the pacing was really terrible, but it's actually really good. I mean, they're a 3-hour movie for sure. I mean, all 3 acts are perfect, and it makes it, I mean, they're perfect, and just never fails to entertain me in every way. And this movie has some of the most iconic moments in the franchise, like Gandalf yelling, "You shall not pass," is a great moment, and one of the most memorable moments. And there's also a great scene where Gandalf puts the ring over fire, and it reveals the One Ring to rule them all in a different language. And as well as a scene where Frodo catches the ring on his finger and then disappears. Those are some of the best scenes, the most memorable and best scenes in all of cinema, and probably the most memorable moments of not just this trilogy, but the entire Middle-earth franchise. The action in this movie is just great from start to finish. I mean, that one scene where I already mentioned where Gandalf said, "You shall not pass." I mean, that was pretty much an action scene, and it was really entertaining, as well as where Frodo and those guys fight those troll things, and that was a really great action scene as well. Most impressive thing about this has got to be the visual effects. I mean, they use CGI as well. I mean, this is at a time when there are more movies that were CGI that were terrible for having terrible CGI. That had terrible CGI, but this movie is a huge exception to that. I mean, CGI looks so realistic. So convincing and realistic, like the trolls on it and everything. And I'm not sure if this movie had how big of a budget this movie had, but it definitely looks like a big budget movie with how good these visual effects look. And this movie's cliffhanger ending was just fantastic. I mean, it's the perfect cliffhanger ending, where they cross over a river and slip, and then it has the what happens next kind of ending. That's a great ending for sure, and just is a perfect cliffhanger ending. And yeah, that's basically how I describe how good it is. I mean, it's a cliffhanger ending, obviously. It has the what happens next kind of ending, and it's just perfect. So here in this trilogy, Frodo's obviously the main protagonist. He is a really great character. He develops pretty well in this movie. Most of his development is definitely in the second and third movies, though. And just, it was fantastic. He's a character in this movie. The guy who carries the ring, also pretty much developed over time. And Elijah Wood did a fantastic job of the acting. I cannot imagine anybody else other than Elijah Wood being Frodo after this movie. Yeah, he's fantastic. Like I said, he's a fantastic character, but he's not quite the best character in the show. The best character here in this movie is probably Gandalf, to be honest. I mean, he's a great mentor character, and he's just really great as a mentor character. He'd be up there with Obi-Wan Kenobi, probably even better than him as one of the best mentors in a film. And he's just a great character. And just how develop Frodo's character as well. He's the perfect mentor for that. And Ian McKellen was a great choice for him. And I can't really think about anybody else that would be good at it. And Ian McKellen was just the perfect choice here. And yeah, I mean, he was great in his role. And Sauron doesn't really play a big role in this movie. He's not really the main antagonist in this movie, not really until the second and third movies. Here Sauron is kind of the main antagonist. He's the one who puts all the magic and makes them go the wrong way and makes it fine. And yeah, I mean, for sure, Sauron is great in this movie, and well as Christopher Lee in the role as him, and was perfect, and just a great villain, but not the best villain in this trilogy. I'll get to that in one of my next reviews, but he's pretty great. So do I have any negatives with this movie? No, I don't. This movie is just a flawless masterpiece, and just the start of one of the best trilogies of all time. So overall, Lord of the Rings and the Fellowship of the Ring is a masterpiece with no negatives and a perfect start to one of the best trilogies of all time. And I'm gonna give Lord of the Rings and the Fellowship of the Ring a 10 out of 10. That was my review of Lord of the Rings and the Fellowship of the Ring. What are your thoughts on Lord of the Rings and the Fellowship of the Ring? Tell me in the comments below, and I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.